And here we go, opening match of the evening of night 27 of the Dusty Classic. We're getting closer to finishing off the first round finally. And today we have for you the Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian, up against the Acolytes. So we have got the Warlord is the guy on the right-hand side of the ring, currently kicking the ground at Bradshaw. And the Barbarian is the guy on the left, currently fighting the stand-in Farouk. And of course Farouk and Bradshaw from the APA. Originally were the Acolytes that were part of the Ministry, I believe. And then became, when I was watching WWE/WWF, they were the Acolyte Protection Agency, which was a pretty fun little gimmick, and that's the gimmick I've got them in this tournament as. So of course this is no disqualifications, no countouts. Hence why Bradshaw's getting himself a table and pings Warlord in the face, but Barbarian gets along and grabs it. So in this episode we have got the Powers of Pain versus the APA, of course, and then our second match will be Imperium's Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bafal going up against the Killer Elite Squad, Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. Good clubbing blows to the back of the head there by Bradshaw, now drags along. Is that the Warlord? It is the Warlord in the ring. Barbarian and Farouk on the outside. Farouk is on fire. We don't need no water. Yeah, sorry, I got stuck at a song in my head there for a second. Big chop across the chest there by Warlord on Bradshaw. Now catches Bradshaw, takes him out. I don't like Bradshaw. Never liked Bradshaw, but I'm not going to push my petty dislikes for people on anything. But if he does get slammed here or absolutely hammered, I wouldn't be too disappointed, to be honest. But I do like Farouk, so you know I'm stuck in a corner here, really. It's power slam there by the Barbarian on Farouk as Bradshaw and Warlord out hissed on the left-hand side of the ring. That's power slam there by Farouk as now Warlord taking Bradshaw up into that power slam. But the problem is they're outside the ring. He's hit a big impactful move there, but pinfalls and submissions only count inside the ring. And Bradshaw's taking a hell of a lot of damage here from the Warlord. A hell of a lot of damage. This is debuts for all four of these guys in our Universe mode as well this year. Of course, we are using different iterations of people as well, so JBL, I'm pretty sure, will be involved at some point as John Bradshaw Layfield, or whatever he's called. So yeah, we'll probably use him at some point as that, as a typical heel at some point. I'm not a big fan of him, to be honest, I never was. I think the problem is, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, is he's a dick. But that's just my opinion. You hear stories about him and all that sort of stuff, and he doesn't seem like the nicest guy in the world. There's a pin by Barbarian on Farouk in the middle of the ring, and Bradshaw did not get in the ring in time, but is in the ring now, and flattens the referee and flattens Barbarian with that big clothesline from hell. There's the pin. This could be enough. Warlord's down, and Bradshaw, oh, he doesn't get the free. It were close, though. It were really close to the free count there. Barbarian the boot in the back of the leg of Bradshaw. Warlord now has Farouk up in a bear hug. There's the running power slam there. Dropping Bradshaw down. It's a tap. Farouk taps, and the Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian, move through to the second round. They made Farouk tap, which is not something I've ever considered Farouk ever tapping, to be honest. There we go. Great victory. And the Powers of Pain move on to round number 2. And they will face off against the winners of our next match, the second match in this episode, which of course is Imperium, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bafal, up against the Killer Elite Squad, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer. Without further ado, let's get in. And here we go then, match number 2, Imperium versus Killer. Well, Davey Boy Smith Jr. starts the match just by flattening the referee. I'd be surprised, to be honest, if the Killer Elite Squad don't come out on top of this. I feel like they are very strong, and again, they're two very strong singles competitors, but they've also tagged together for such a long time. I feel like they'll be very, very strong doing that as well. But you never know, this game does throw some curveballs out there. It really does throw some curveballs out there. Lance Archer now pushing his boot into the face of Fabian Eichner. So, of course, for those of you who don't know, Lance Archer is the guy with the red trunks, bit of red hair on the back. Davey Boy Smith Jr., the son of the British Bulldog, on the back there with the British flags on his legs. Fabian Eichner currently being backbroken by Lance Archer. And Marcel Barfal, previously known as Axel Dieter Jr., I believe it was, is the guy holding his back in the middle of the ring, now getting kicked by Lance Archer. Lance Archer, he's an equal opportunity kicker. He will kick anybody. Anybody who gets in his way will get a boot. That's just the simple way it goes, I suppose. Archer slamming on the hand of Barthal as Fabian Eichner comes back into the ring. Big chop across the chest. Isn't Eichner supposed to be Italian, isn't he? I think Eichner's Italian. Davey Boy Smith Jr. now getting a hold of Barthal. There's a big choke slam by Lance Archer on Fabian Eichner. Now into, another big takedown. This is some massive moves here by the Killer Elite Squad. Of course, formerly part of Suzuki Gun. There's the pin. 1, 2. Wow. They have hammered him here. That is an absolute hammering by the Killer Elite Squad there on to Imperium. Not what Imperium were hoping for at all, but wow, that means next round then the Powers of Pain, Warlord and the Barbarian will go up against the Killer Elite Squad, Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. This is a very interesting victory. It's one of the most dominant victories we've seen so far in the first round. And I could personally maybe put these forward as potential favourites for this tournament after that win. It was so dominant, I would not be surprised if these two guys did come out victorious in this tournament. But there's a lot of teams, it's so difficult to put your finger on anybody at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see. So that's the end of episode 27 of the Dusty Classic. A bit of a quicker one today. We've got 5 episodes left of the first round. And then we finally move on to round 2. We finally start to weasel it down even more. By the end of episode 32, we'll be down to 64 teams. How nice will that be? I hope you've enjoyed this one. Of course, if you have, hit the like, subscribe, that other good stuff, and I will see you again tomorrow for our next episode of the Dusty Classic, where we will have the New Day going up against Private Party, and we will have the Street Profits going up against the Young Bucks. Good night, God bless, all the other good stuff. I'll see you next time.